Sham Mesech the Meisters, Daf Mem Omid Beis, V'Yinu Shmas Gittel Ozom, Yishchan Yisrael, Yisrael, Yitzchok. Mordechai, Ben Ephraim Yehuda, Shmosek. Big machlokes the Ba'isa. I got to go over again. It's in the Gala Lochel Ma'isa. The Gedol Olam Atumli in this Mishnah, Pshat in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says two things that I want to cover again. Oike lefes v'tzinunim mitoch shaloi. The Mishnah in Lamed Ches Amud Aleph. Oike lefes v'tzinunis. He takes out of the ground, makes an akira, which is negated to Maisas, Klayim, Truma, and Shabbos. So the Mishnah says you take it out of the ground, mitoch shaloi, mitoch shaloi l'zera chayiv, v'tzolim sheshishu b'aliyah. Onions that took root on top of a roof, on a roof garden, toharu milatame. The zriya, when you make the ashrosha in the ground, it takes off the tumah. Takes off the tumah. On the roof, it fell on the mapoilis, a bunch of earth, the hemagulin, and it's still not covered completely. It's as if it's planted in a soda. What does this Mishnah mean? What's an afkamina if it's shroshim all on the roof? You have shroshim that took root. It comes torah from tumeh, but if it falls on a mapolis, falls on top of it, then it has a din like it's planted in the ground. What's the afkamina? What should they do? Huge machlokes how to learn pshat in the Mishnah. Just to read over the Pnei Moshe. Toharu milatame imahoyu timeim. If it was tamei, obviously. Umishashishu, it takes root. Nifsadim heim v'taharu. It's considered nifsad. Nifsad means it's not the same thing anymore. Now it disintegrates, and that's why it's tahor. Not because zera zerua. Sheta posik zera zerua tells me that once it's planted, the zera becomes tahor. It's a beferish posik. It's not the way the Pnei Moshe is understanding this Mishnah. He said the plant is because it's nifsad. It's not the same thing anymore. You plant in the ground, start to become a seed, and it disintegrates and starts something else is growing here. Brand new, very good, brand new. The Mishnah doesn't say it, but he said the same thing. Saifa tumah, saifa maisis. When? Ashrosha, it takes root. The Havik Toimin Agudah Shalefes, which in Enes, some say he refers to a Mishnah in Klayim. The Potter and Maisis, the Shed Potter and Maisis said Maisis, Shvius, everything is Potter, and the tumor also goes away. Why? Talk to Pnei Moshe because brand new. Nafalei Mapoiles v'heimagulin, Sheniglu Achakach, falls on it, a Mapoiles from earth, and then it somehow it uncovers it. It's no longer planted. You can tuim besada, b'chayav b'maisa is considered in tuim besada and chayav b'maisa. So this is the Pnei Moshe. What does the mouthful to say? Tarim l'tameh? No, not because it's nifsad. He's saying because kizruin dami, it's as if it's planted. And so what? Not because it's a new thing. It has exeis hakosiv. Exeis hakosiv v'atoyre ripsa b'taharis nizroim that become Torah. The siv akol zera zerua. Any plant, any seed rather, zerua, which you plant, asher yizra, Torah. Where does it say? But tumah. It doesn't say for mices. Doesn't say for anything else. For shvius, not negay. What's negay here is it's a pasuk in the Torah tells me the tumah goes away because it's planted, and ashrosha is considered as if it's planted. Tumah dafke hashishu b'aliyah sheyesh tateim ofer hamaziva haba shishu b'kupa. Oh, he says, however, we're talking about aliyah. Aliyah is on the top of a roof. What about if it's planted in a box? Now, on the aliyah, it's not an otzis nokav. There's no hole in the roof that makes this otzis nokav. and you're talking about a roof here, it's not in the ground. What? And so it's as if it's in the ground. Kilo. Okay, but that's a swara. But what does Meraful to say? Dafka shrishu ba'aliyah sheyesh tachteim ofva hamaziva. Aval shrishu bekupa ketlushin dami aflutum. Only considered planted because it's on top of the roof, and because it's on top of the roof, and yesh tachteim offer hamaziva. Offer hamaziva means the offer of the roof itself. Therefore, I say that this pasuk zera zerua applies, and it takes off the tumah. Masha enkem, you put it into a box. A box means here. That's how you have to learn how to illustrate in Yerushalmi. The box means here that it doesn't have a hole in the box, so it's not. It's a otzet sheini nokav. That's what it means by kupa. Shishu bekupa ketlushim domi aflatumah. It's not good to say it planted. So there's in the ground. It's on the. There's one thing is in the ground, one thing is on the roof, and one thing is in a box. The box, he says, is lushim domi. In the ground, about it says zerua, and here's zerua dafka for tumah, but for something else. So the Maraful. No, there's a pasuk that talks only about tumah. By tumah, we say it becomes tumah because that pasuk in the Torah is zerua. Mashenk and the Pnei Moshe says it's nifsad. Nifsad means it's disintegrating. So it disintegrates because you're planting it starts to grow. So this thing starts to change. Once it starts to change, it's no longer, it's a new thing. That's what Rabbi Felder says. Better. So that's what it means. And Mele Huadim for Trumas and Maisis and Isaac, Mele goes away. Okay, so this is different ways how to understand this Mishnah. We look at Asherila. Shrishu Ba'aliyah, Dafke Ba'aliyah. Again, he's learning like the Menaful, the Dafke and Aliyah, Abakupa, if it's in a box. Lo Yodu Midei Tumah, Kedisa B'Gemara. Yeah, B'Gemara says that that's not in a box, which is Otzet Shein and Nokov. It's not considered that it's planted. Toru Milatame, in the roof, on the roof, it's Toru Milatame, because ruined dummy, it's as if it's planted, and you have the posik with Tarim Haim, Afilu Hoyu Tumei Mikora, the Torah Ripsa, the Torah Zoim, Kedisa B'Gemara, says it's Afga Din, B'Negei Tumah. Afagav Dinyam Isis, Ain't Sorch La'aseh La'gedulim, whatever grows here on the roof, he speaks it out. You don't have to take Maisa, what grows on the roof. Adarei Haim B'Chaskosin, Kedisa B'Gemara, this after was. But when you get to this, it's not planted. It's not in the ground. It's not considered in the ground. Why? It's not in the ground. It's on the roof. Why was this for tumah? For tumah, there's a din that's hey zerua. It's planted, but it's not planted in the ground. It's planted on the roof. So planted on the roof. When you get to tumah, zerua. Interesting chilik, right? We couldn't say such thing on it by itself. But those stay though in the Rasa, it's considered planted only if you get to tumah. If you get to something else, this is gepflanzt, this is zerua. And it's not considered, you wouldn't be chayiv on Shabbos, and the shtokat lisha of them, the shtokat trumas and maises. Only a din for zera zerua, it's considered planted for tumah. You have to understand why. Monisha is, if it's planted, so it should be kira on Shabbos. If it's planted, it should be chayiv trumas and maises. Somehow, some way, the Rasa is saying, Africa negated to this, nothing else. But if nofla leim apoilis, where? Mefarish b'tesefta b'surim b'shviyas v'chayav b'maises, everything all of a sudden here now, it's as if it's in the ground, basada. V'nira din Shabbos nami hatoilish mehem b'Shabbos chayav chatos. V'chein kosu ri rash. So chayav chatos, this is kontur basada.
Zuriya is not chibur.
Okay.
It has to be mechuber.
Okay.
The nice has to be mechuber. It's not mechuber. It's a rubber. It's not mechuber.
Okay. Shane alumnus. Okay, very good. Not as a penhand, but good. It's okay, good. Happens up to Zug. Yeah, I have to say something. I'm not.
Yeah, but okay.
What do you want to say, Yaakov?
No, I'm not getting involved with the
Don't get bashful. Don't be bashful. Don't be bashful. You have something to say.
Zura's not like kind of like Mekubal Kaka.
It is.
So
Yeah, absolutely. His problem is because those say that it's only for tumah. That's his problem. The Rashi really says it's only planted for tumah. The tumah goes away because zera zerua. But we have trumas and maises. It's not considered planted. It's not chayav trumas and maises. So that's his problem. That is the problem here in this Mishnah. So the Gemara says on Daf Mem and Aleph, on the bottom two lines, Nachamol. Arima means a bunch of these onions, shrisha, which took root. She's told now. This is the Chayre B'Tzolim Sheshishu B'Aliyah. That's what this Gemara is going on. B'Shabbos Potter. Why you Potter on Shabbos? The Tumah goes away. Why you Potter on Shabbos? Why the Chayre Zerua? Steht on the Mishnah. She'eina roitz in the Gemara. I'm sorry. She'eina roitz b'hashrosh shosha. He doesn't want it. So what is if he doesn't want it? That's the Chayre. Not in Pashas is Zokter Aserilah. Gabi Shabbos being in Melechus Mashabbos. You need Melechus Mashabbos. Now, we're accustomed to understanding Melechus Mashabbos. You do a Malacha, the Malacha has to be in Melechus Mashabbos. Like it was in the Mishkan. Has to be Tzarech L'Gufa, has to be Azay V'Sigay in the Mishkan. That's what Melechus Mashabbos means when you get to Shabbos. Here, what's happening over here? These are taking root. It's taking root on the roof. And he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it to happen. So he doesn't want it to happen. So why is that a chassan in Melechus Mashabbos? The Melechus Mashabbos would be if you take it out of the ground. You're not. And if you take out something, you make a hole in the ground. And it's offer. You want the offer. That's considered a chassan in Tzorech L'Gufa. It's not Melechus Mashabbos because it's not like it was in the Mishkan. What's up the Satan with any rights about Shos? Why is this considered chassan in Melechus Mashabbos? Melechus Mashabbos is in the mice like it. That's something like that. What?
He couldn't want it, and it could not want it.
What is it? So that's the chay not Melechus Mashabbos. Chassan Melechus Mashabbos in the mice malacha. The fact that it's growing or not growing, I'll give you a question. What if it's hefka? Hefka, not his. You take it out of the ground, shroshim, you're not chay. You didn't know it's there. You come, you're walking on the street, you see shroshim, it's hefka, you didn't plant it, you didn't know it's planted, it wasn't done if you died, it's going to go in the shred. Yeah, shlap rois in the, you're not chay on Kira and Shabbos? 100%, okay. So what does it mean over here? All of a sudden, any rois about shroshim, that takes away the zriyah, takes away the shroshim, because you don't want it? What should they do? Huh? What?
Meiser has a plant. That's the first Mishnah. You have to put it in Meiser.
I'm not talking about Meiser now. I want to know about Shabbos. Why you put on Shabbos? Because ain't right about Shosam. The Gemara says over here. What's Pshat in the Gemara? Kimach fragen, what's Pshat in the Mishnah? I didn't learn it. Okay, you put it. You learned it. You learned the Barabim. But we learned upon more the Gemara. What's the Pshat in the Gemara? Ain't right about Shosam. Shoyish Bam Shabbos put if I was, ain't right about Shosam. What does it mean? What's that mean? The Batanura door of the Mishnah. The Batanura. Excuse me. Potem in Amaise, Meoretz, V'loi kol zera, Prat l'zeroi negina, shein in achol. Torah metame, the gezu in domi. This is like the Merafud of the Chayre. It's a ptur because of a posik. He talks it out. Everything else, is kedushin domi. It's considered too. When you get to the tree, it's mice inclined. It's told it's not zerua. Only when you get to tumah. I say the tumah. What?
Tissues are mechubet to the box.
Yeah. No.
Stuck into the box.
But
No, it's not. It's not stuck into the box.
It's not stuck in the box.
No, it's in the box.
It's in the box. It's not stuck in. It's not stuck in the ground. It's not stuck in the box.
It's not mechubet to the ground. It's just in the ground. It's not mechubet to the ground.
Oh, so we want to say
Tissues are in the box. They're not mechubet to the box.
You said two things. You said the wad, it's got tinika from the ground, right?
The room means
Okay.
it's in there.
It gets,
but it's not stuck in there.
Okay, so we had the Rambam. The Rambam in the Pisha Mishnayos, Zuk the Rambam, that Zera Zerua doesn't only say by Tumah. The word Zerua is said by Trumas and Maises and Shriyas. So they look the Rambam. So Bezai, that point that you're making that has a Ninika from the Kaka, that's not only by Tumah. The Ptur of that if it's Zerua in the Kaka that takes up the Tumah, that's the din of Trumas and Maises also. What? Yeah, but here the Torah is Makman and Zerua.
It's Zerua.
The Torah is Makman and Zerua, yeah.
Put in the ground. Not stuck.
Okay, you're right. Put in the ground. Planted. Yeah. Okay, bald get to the outskirts. Chapasach me guess I problem with that.
Teach you out of the box and Shabbos?
No.
Get out.
That's going to part from tumah. The box won't part from tumah. You put the turnips in the box. It's not going to part you from. It's not going to take off the tumah either. It has to be zerua. Zerua in the karka. Pashas is. But that's what we're saying, but there's no question.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're trying. Good. Okay, you're doing a good job. So you're saying, but if you say the word,
You say, Tolish means something that Mechubba, you're Toilish. I'm Mechubba, you're not Toilish.
okay. The zera steht bei anderen Sachen euch. That's the problem. Aber shisha bekupa ketlushin domi aflin yintume. If you put it into a box, right? You put the same thing. You put the same amount of earth. You put the turnips and the radishes. You put into a box. The only thing, it doesn't have a hole on the bottom, right? So ketlushin domi, the tumah doesn't go away. That hole on the bottom makes it all of a sudden that the tumah goes away. That's considered zerua because you have the hole on the bottom. So why is that the pshat is that's what's nokev. What's nokev? What's nokev means that it has the nourishment from the ground. All the kinder in this, right? What's nokev means it has the nourishment from the ground. No hole, no nourishment from the ground. The only problem is what's in the aliyah? Aliyah is the aloch. You're on the 30 stories up. You have a psinika coming from the ground all the way down. So the aloch is got to no, right? So why is it this like what's nokev?
Because this is the character.
This is the karka. But when you get to everything else, it's not karka. Everything else is not karka, right? When you get everything else is not karka. Only for tumah. Das heißt gepflanzt of the dach. Das heißt zerua. Zerua.
Where's it getting the unique from? On the roof. Where's it getting the unique from?
It's from itself. From the moisture, from the. What's the difference? The earth on. What's the difference? The earth on the. You put up 5 inches, 5 feet of earth on there.
Then unique from that character.
Which karka?
The character
30 stories down.
No.
Where? Up there.
Yeah, the character that's up there.
Okay, so then what?
Range into that character.
Very good. Very good.
Unique from that character.
Okay, very good. So it's like a mountain that keeps going up. Very good. So everything else, why not? Why is it ketulushim domi for everything else? Everything else is ketulushim domi. Book by tumah, all of a sudden for tumah we say. Even though it says zeruah by other things too. So for this was the smite. He says like this. He says the mission is Shina. But I don't have answers for all these questions. I'm just telling you now. This was what the shaykeit is. So the Baliyah Pirish Rav Dafke Baliyah Sheyesh Offer Hamazil. So what the Rav is pointing out the Batanush Leido does the Shmeinis Havadach, and there's no earth underneath. It has to be Offer Hamaziva from the roof. Underneath it there's Offer. Ava Bekupa Ad Kan Neburai. The Kupa is not. It's a box. Okay. L'shoina mashma, the shiusa of the kupa, the reason why bekupa there's no problem over here with Shabbos, Kishain bo offer, v'im bo offer, harei yukaliyah. If there would be in the box, it'd be offer, then it's like a roof. So that really takes out this issue. You want to say the roof is considered like it's mechuba de karka. You have a box, you put in a box which doesn't have a nokiv. It's also she'ein nokiv. All of a sudden for tumah, he's telling me it's going to take away the tumah. And I say, you put into the otzen shein and okev. That's verkehrt. Wie man allemaal aufgewachsen. Allemaal aufgewachsen. So the otzen shein and okev is garnish. It's a box. Yeah, it's a chatzitz. It's a box. It's not kein zerua. So you pay the uksen. So you ain't loy with the kupa shekosav harav bin a kupa mayu. He says like this: who told you to have a kupa in a box that the Rav is talking about means that it didn't have a hole? Maybe it's a otzen okev. You have a gav the bechol duchte. Kan shas lookte. Chol duchte. Yes. Nekuva have a mechuba legami. If it has all, it's mechuba legami. And why we say when you get to zroyim for kalayim and for trumas and maises, all of a sudden we say it's in a box. It's a good. I thought it's nokuv. Dukte legami v'sapek an the zaym sapek the Shabbos. Hainu kusheroitze b'ashroson. This is what it says in the Gemara. Though. And we say it means only when you get to Shabbos, it's because it's in Melechus Mashavas. That's the reason why part of it. No, could be it's going to Otzis Nokov, and the reason why it's part for Maises and Trumas and Maises ain't a Roitze Bashos. Still now we're busy. What's it going to be? Shabbos over some Shabbos ain't a Roitze Bashos. So you part it, slap it out of the ground. You part it. But what the business is? Okay, Melechus Mashavas is applicable not just to the Malacha of Akira. It's applicable to the mechuba lekarka was any rosh hashanah. Even though if you walk on the street and you see this and you slap it off on the ground, Mr. Chayiv mitasor, Mr. Chayiv skila, but mitamol, if it's yours and you don't want b'ashroson, macht's besser, because all of a sudden you don't want it, it's gone. Even though but here he's coming with a bigger. He says when you get trumas and ma'ases, He's saying also that even though it says Otzes Nokev, somehow Ein Roitze, that's Mavatal everything. He's not miskaven for the Minchas Chinuch Shail there by Zriya Alamo. What's it by Shabbos? What's Shad Zriya? You put a seed in the ground, right? Peschav of Zriya. Nothing happened yet, right? So it says when you put it in the ground, that's what he's saying over here. You're not mekam for the zriyah, that makes it katolish legami. Aflin yitumim. Make an afkimit which Shabbos is something else. Keep it in the kuvik is zruah bekarka domi. I feel it ain't right to bashrasam. Lin yitumim miya my godam eliyah. So you want to say also the zabazach? But nina the kupa and the kuva, if it doesn't have a hole in the kupa, I feel the yesh by offer come harab the katolish legami. Otzit chain and okav can be that it should be a chiv ziyah, and an okav is in a box. It's not chayiv, even though it should say do an aliyah. But dafka zokte b'aliyah mahani offer hamaziva ubekupa loy mahani. What's an afkimina? It's on the roof. The offer hamaziva makes it zruah. It takes off the tumah. It takes off other things also maybe because other mafashim. But with benegea to a kupa not. What's the difference between a kupa and a maziva? What's an afkamina? There's no hole in the kupa and there's no hole in the maziva. It doesn't. It's not. It's not good for the maziva. It's all the way up in the sky. So why is it ported? Patam the aliyah shemechubel karka kekakadami. You want to say it's so amazing, right? It's mechubel karka. If it wasn't mechubel karka, the house is mechubel karka. And that's considered living the karka without the hole. You don't need the hole. I'm saying a box that doesn't have a hole. It's going. It's just a metal. It's like a tissue box. It's going. That's nothing. But if you have a house, the house itself, there's basically so you build the house has a different karka, not because it gets the unika from there, not because it has zerua from there. Is a mechubel karka. So if it's a mechubel karka, then the Mishnah Rishonim that makes it into a din zerua, and that passes it from tumah. I'm going to get to everything else. But this is the mission. Loshen harash, dafke hishishu ba'aliyah, aber hishishu b'kik. But he says beferish. The Rash says it out beferish. But the shrosha we're talking about over here in the Mishnah is talking about the shrosha dafke ba'aliyah, aber hishishu b'kupa not. V'lo hiske sheyesh shom ofer hamaziva. The Rav says in the aliyah there was offer. Now that goes against this svara. If I say pshat is because the house is mechubel karka, well you have to have offer on the roof. You don't need to offer underneath this thing. You don't need that. You just need mechubel karka. The part is the house is mechubel karka. Was there mashma kedusha? V'nei oid shishu b'aliyah mishum sheroya es ave me'abe ruches have kemechubel. Top, you see the ave from four sides. Ave kupa ain't a roya es ave. Another thing, he says that. He says the aliyah, he's letting pshat it's open to the sky. See, because it's open to the sky, royes ave, it's considered kemechuba. In other words, it would be on the inside the house, and you planted, they put this inside in the penthouse. You put the oven in the penthouse, plants inside. Almost everything is off. It's not considered aliyah. Aliyah means open from four sides, open air. Kupa ain't a royes ave. Kupa means a box, a tzigamachte box. But b'kupa nami im mola offer at sefosa chashik u'mekuba, it would be in a box, an open box. Then we say the same thing.
Real estate is called nechsed l'loynai.
Okay.
Meaning it's not like metalton.
Yeah.
It's like a mechuba.
Yeah. Okay. It's like a mechuba. Okay. Just want to read again the upline and the Magav Rom. The Magav Rom. In Shin Lamed Vav Yud Dalet. Let's look at Magav Ram. The Ma'adik Chiddush here. So we just went over it quickly the other day. I looked at Machaber. Shin Lamed Vav Sif Yud Beis. Te'enim sheyavshu be'ivayim v'chein ilim sheyavshu pe'roisav atoilish mehem b'Shabbos chayav. You have an ilon, peiris on the ilon. Everything is dried out. So it's is at chayav on tlisha. Afa pishen kina kuren li tumah. Again, the tumah it's kikuren dami. It's not going to be tumah anymore because once it's obvious nishlokan tumah. Zog the Magav Ram atoilish. Yeah, you take off the payers which are dried out. The nidali The basavim yevation kulam moed the kedushin dami veloy kol Shabbos. If it's going to be, this is a machlokes. This is a machlokes. He says if it's yovish, you put it. But if it's going to be grass, only by Paris there's a machlokes. But if it's grass is dried out, kedushin dami not chayiv. So he brings the Rosh. We learned the Rosh inside. Because of Rosh Klal Beisim and Dalid Gag Shemalu offer. Good to see how the Magen Ram is learning up the Rosh. It's a Gag Shemalu offer. On top of the Gag, you have offer, Mulu offer, but not the B'Soichai HaTodah Shemena Chayiv. You take out from the offer, from the top. You Chayiv al Shabbos. B'chein possibly Yodea, so Sim Reish Tzadik Dalid. It's into the Mishnah. Where's the Chayiv? Into the Mishnah. Beis Perikei, second Mishnah, Perikei for Meises. B'tzorachin. What steht dort? In Tom B'Shabbos. Das steht in the Mishnah. Tom Metame, Nafleim Apoyes, Emigul, Harei you could do B'Sodeh. B'tzorachin. The Rash maybe Yushalmi, the Hainu Dafke in Yitume, the Rash, bringt it into the Yushalmi, that says only mitigate the Tumah. That's how the Rav learns, and the other learners they come out. Avlachol Mili Ketlushin Dami. This thing which is on the roof, we say it's Torah Midatama. The Shetach in the Mishnah doesn't talk about anything else. It's Torah Midatama. Everything else, Ketlushin Dami. So if it's Ketlushin Dami, it's not considered part of the Karka. So why do you say over here, look the Rosh, on top of the Karka is considered that it's a Mechubah to the Karka in Yechayev. It's only been against the Tumah. Me, but Taisis Yontav Hevi Yishalmi, Veni Roitze B'Ashrosa. The Yishalmi, the Taisis Yontav brings the Yishalmi, that it's talking he doesn't want it. Have a kishiroitz b'ashos and have a mechube gomer. When Messiah achakach nofel leim mapoilis, v'al nishleim megulim kedach yilosem v'arei hen kinetuyim b'sodeh v'atoilish mem b'Shabbos is chayiv. What's the sefer for the Mishnah? Pish afil any roitz b'ashos. In the Reish is talking that has to be his roitz b'ashos. But in the Sefer, by the Apoilis, I feel any roitze b'ashosah. What's the nafkamina? The Reish in the Sefer, if it's not for leim Apoilis, if it ain't a roitze, Masha Enkein in the Reish it says dafka if it's roitze. But if it's any roitze, you put it. What's the nafkamina?
So Nafla, he didn't do anything. It fell.
Very good. Very good.
But he puts it there. He put it there.
So the problem is, you're
After you
making...
put it there, nothing that fell on itself. After you put it there, it fell by itself.
So the Rebbe mind of like Zugen, he had a saying, macht sich ärger. What do I mean, macht sich ärger? Because you're making a moedik chilik. And you're saying what it says in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says like this. Sheshrishu b'aliyah ta'arim l'tamah. Mashma that it happened by itself or whatever. But it didn't happen. It doesn't say nofel, right? In the Sefer it says nofel leim apoyos, heim megulim. But it says there, in the Sefer, by nofla, harei kinetuyim b'sodeh. It's as if it's in the ground. No more rooftop, no more katolish. It's like they planted in the ground. And they'll say nofla. Mashak in the Reish, it says shrishu b'aliyah. I know exactly what it was. It doesn't say nofla. Nofla is a step away from you doing it. It happened by itself. No, it's another felony. Yeah. Oh, mind asking us. It's machzechega. You're telling me over here, this is as if it's in the soda. It's like almost like you're walking on the street and you see something that's on the roof and you schlep it out. It's hefke, not you don't know about it. It's not even yours. You schlep it out of the ground. You say you put it because why? Why you put it? Because nafla you say you put it. No, nafla you tell me that it's chayv because in the tuim basod it's not telling you that. You didn't even know it existed. It was under yours. Okay, nafla tzulas aber ich verstehe nicht. Ja, gut, ich bin da. Ja, noch einmal, wir hören das. Wir hören das selbst in der Tille. Ja, what's that? Yeah. Skada Shmei Rabba. Warum doch hier sagen, das kann ich gar nicht schicken. Ich habe mir mehr kann ich besser bei Gold, man könnte mir mein Shmei Rabba oder Yolam. ומה יסבור שלב יסבור שם מסנאסה ויסל שמי כשמי אני מקבל חוסר שירות חוסר מוסד מן יום ובימי היסור ברבנו ואלת מדי כל מייסה מדי כל